Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. The reason I've asked to assemble this group today is by way of information, by way of update on an important initiative that began here at Valdosta State with an email that I sent out to campus leaders back in May of this year, so just a couple of months ago. And the subject of that email was the formation of the President's Special Committee on the Prevention of Sexual Assault. Since that time, and the date of that email was May the 8th, that special committee has been busy doing its work, and so the important part of today's gathering is to update you all on those activities and to talk a little bit about my reasoning behind putting that committee together. As many of you know, the prevention of sexual assault on our college campuses has become, at long last, a cry to action at the national level. No less than the President of the United States has referred to this as deeply troubling and a call to action. And he's right. And so I asked that the group that you see in front of you today be assembled, and they have, since the early part of this summer, been hard at work. And I have asked them that this coming summer, they present me with a set of recommendations. Here is verbatim the charge that I have given to this special committee. The Valdosta State University President's Special Committee on the Prevention of Sexual Assault is charged with assessing Valdosta State University's strengths and weaknesses in the area of sexual assault prevention, and to make recommendations to the President as to how we may improve in areas to include, but not be limited to, law enforcement, student development, policy, compliance, student health care, counseling, and residence life. Recommendations will be due to the President 1 year after the committee is charged at its initial meeting. The committee has had its initial meeting and has been meeting ever since. Dr. Tricia Hale, who heads our counseling center here at Valdosta State, was chosen as the chairperson of that committee, and I'll introduce her here in a second to come to the podium and update you all on the activities of that committee. Let me just say a couple of things about my reasoning for this. You cannot learn effectively in an environment where you are concerned about your safety. The safety of all of our students is always our top priority. 68% of the students at Valdosta State University are women. Think about that. 68%. And yet here we are in 2014 still having these conversations about how best to prevent sexual assault, sexual violence. This is 2014. One instance is one too many on any college campus. We have an obligation, and Valdosta State will lead when it comes to fulfilling that obligation. And that's why I couldn't be happier that we assembled the group that we have here today. Our efforts are proactive. This was an effort not brought about through any belief that for some reason or other the policies that we have in place are inadequate. Quite the contrary. I think we always have to be in a position where we are examining what it is that we do in no matter what we do, whether it comes to today's subject or anything else here at the university. But I thought it was very important that given this subject matter, given the importance of what we're talking about here, that we update this community on just how proactive we're being. And so with that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Hale, who will update you all on what has been happening with this very distinguished group of individuals. Dr. Hale.
Well, the committee has come together, wonderful faculty and staff, because this is such a passionate issue for not only the students, but the faculty and staff of VSU. There are a lot of wonderful and great initiatives that have maintained on this campus, And we have tried to target some of those initiatives and see what's really happening on this campus. So we've identified a couple of category areas that we're looking at. We're looking at research and evaluation of those programs. We're looking at training for UPD, training for health staff, training for the counseling center, training for faculty and staff. We're also looking at the different programming elements that are on campus and that are on other campuses. And we are also looking for the support of a victim who may come forward and say that this issue has happened to them. How can we support them through that process? So these are the 4 categories that we've decided are our focus. And with this being such a pressing issue, we have made and put together some short-term recommendations for the president, and we will be giving them to him tomorrow, actually, by the end of the day. And by the end of the summer, we're looking at long-term goals on how to enhance what is already happening on this campus. So those are the short things that we're kind of looking at as a committee and as we move forward with this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hale. One more thing by way of the university being proactive when it comes to these matters, and then I'll be happy to take any questions that you may have. Valdosta State University this month, in fact, this is October 1st, Valdosta State will begin to launch its participation in the national campaign referred to as No More. No More is a new unifying symbol designed to galvanize greater awareness and action to end domestic violence and sexual assault. Supported by major organizations working to address these urgent issues, No More is gaining support nationwide. Here at VSU, No More will begin to take hold here in the month of October, and it begins to take hold, I think, in the best of all possible places, and that is with our own student organizations. We should never underestimate the ability of our students themselves to be leaders, to take responsibility for their own actions, and we as administration at Valdosta State are always here, not only for obviously our own leadership, but to support and aid those students who are looking to do the right thing.